Kicking off today's video once again with Car Vertical. When you're buying your next car, make sure you check out Car Vertical with a fancy new rebranding as well. Make sure you use my code on the screen right now to save on your report, and it'll bring up all sorts of things that you really want brought up before you buy your car, like outstanding finance, recalls, mileage discrepancies, crash damage, and a whole host more. You can even see whether it's been exported, you can see its previous registration plates, and even pictures of crash damage too. So make sure you run a Car Vertical report on your next car purchase before you buy it. Use my code and you'll save some money. Now let's get on with the video. Hello, you awful lot, and welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my SLS here. A wonderful car. I've driven it for the first time in quite a little while down to Octane Collection today, because we're not here to talk SLSs, we're actually here to talk about another icon in my collection. Today we are talking all things Carrera GT. Now this coincides with the 3rd anniversary of me owning my Carrera GT. I actually bought that April 2020. It is now of course May 2023, so it is 3 years into Carrera GT ownership, and that has been met with some rather aggressive news from Porsche AG. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up. So Porsche AG have issued what's called a stop use campaign on the car. This means Porsche HQ AG in Germany are telling every single Carrera GT owner worldwide not to use their car. There's been official communication on it that has gone out to every single owner. I've had an email. Every single other owner that I know has had an email and a phone call, a recorded phone call, issuing notice that you should not use your Carrera GT anymore, for the time being at least. So we're going to get into what on earth is going on and how this is going to be resolved, if at all, because it is quite alarming news. If you've got a Carrera GT and you're being told just before the summer, first world problems I know, just before the summer not to use your car by the very people that made it, it is quite alarming. So let's get into it, because I'm here at Octane Collection and we've got, I'd say, the biggest collection of Carrera GTs in the UK right now, all in one place. Some of you may argue with that, but I'm pretty sure there is nowhere with more than 4 of them sat together. So it's actually really cool to see 4 of these together. And you might be thinking, TG, which one is yours? It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. And it's definitely not that one, unless I've had a respray, which I haven't. So my car is not here. Where is it, Tom? I hear you ask. It is actually in my place in the Cotswolds. I was actually batting around Surrey today, so I thought I would come and visit the guys at Octane. I really couldn't be bothered to go to the Cotswolds because I don't live there. I definitely don't live there anymore. I still have the house, but I don't live there, so I'm not there full time, and my Carrera GT is still there. So these cars were here, and I thought I'd pop in and illustrate my point and get into the back of the car and show you what the stop use campaign is all about, and the correspondence from Porsche, and what on earth is going on in Carrera GT world, because there are a lot of grumpy owners. I'm on a WhatsApp group with some of them grumpier than others. I'm probably one of the grumpiest actually, but they are actually a very good, reasonable bunch. So all these cars have actually, they're all different specs actually, believe it or not. That is basalt black. You can see it's kind of got a grey kind of tinge to it because it's metallic. Don't even get close on that. You see the kind of metallic fleck on it? Paintwork's in amazing condition on that actually. So that's got a metallic fleck in it, and this is solid black. So you'll see this actually looks a blacker black. Yeah, that doesn't sound like nonsense. This has obviously got terracotta. So this is basalt black with terracotta interior. This is a different colour to that of the interior in my one. I've actually got ascot, which is down at the end. This car, I think a couple of these are actually sold. Maybe one of these is for sale, 1 or 2 potentially. I think a couple of these are sold, so I need to be quite careful. Be careful anyway. This got black interior with the carbon gear knob actually. Very, very rare option that. This is basalt black with terracotta. Again, same spec, basically it is, this one at the start. And this, I think, is a USA car, but it's actually not got the orange side repeaters on it, which I really, really don't like. So very nice to see that doesn't have it. And then down at the end here, we've got a seal grey car with ascot. So this is the interior that I've got in my car with solid black paint. So we'll cut to the email then that I got from Porsche GB the other day, the same guys that serviced it, because they are in a bit of a predicament as well. They've received instruction from Porsche AG telling them to tell customers not to use their cars, but without an actual solution at the moment. So let's jump to that email, I'll read it out, and then we'll crack on and show you what the problem is supposed to be. Porsche is writing to you today as our records show that you're owner of a Porsche Carrera GT. For Porsche, the quality of our products and your safety are our top priorities in the development of our models, in addition to the driving pleasure typical of the brand. We are contacting you today for this reason. As part of our ongoing internal quality analysis, it's been determined that chassis components that were installed on the front and rear axles of the affected Carrera GT models do not meet the required specifications for durability. For safety reasons, Porsche therefore strongly recommends that you immediately stop using your Carrera GT vehicle until further notice. In the case of continued use of the vehicle, despite the stop use advice, it cannot be ruled out that the risk of an accident is increased. We understand that there may be some concerns at this time. Porsche Cars Great Britain will follow up with you directly via telephone in the coming days to discuss this notification. You will also shortly receive a formal notification letter from Porsche Cars Great Britain Limited. Porsche does not have any further information at this time. Once further details are known, they will be shared with you immediately. Thank you for your understanding. Now, that email was sent on the 14th of April. It was then followed up by another email on the 28th of April that looked like this. Following our recent contact concerning the stop drive issue on your Carrera GT, please see the latest update below. What is the issue? On your Carrera GT, there is a possibility that the fastening bolts on the installed longitudinal and transverse arms of the chassis can potentially be susceptible to corrosion over the service life of the vehicle. The durability of these components cannot therefore be unequivocally guaranteed. If the fastening bolts on the longitudinal and transverse control arms break due to corrosion, vehicle handling may be restricted, and this can increase the risk of an accident. What are we going to do? In order to prevent a resulting hazard, the affected components will be replaced with new optimized parts with improved durability. Porsche therefore recommends that you do not use your vehicle for safety reasons until further notice. Plan timings and next actions. In light of the exclusivity of the model, but also the more recent production cycle and low quantity of the vehicles, the required new optimized parts will unfortunately only be available in 1.5 years. That is, not available until the third quarter of 2024. In the short term, we aim by the end of Q2 2023 to provide you with information for the implementation and scheduling of your vehicle inspection, where the possibility for impairment of durability of existing components will be assessed. If the inspection analysis shows no abnormality on the affected components, we will advise you that the vehicle can therefore be used without restriction till the optimized components are retrofitted at a later date. If anomalies are identified during the inspection, Porsche strongly recommends that you do not use your vehicle until the retrofit is completed for safety reasons. In all circumstances, as soon as the optimized parts are available for your vehicle, we will contact you to schedule an appointment to carry out the action. We are sensitive to the effects of this action, and your Porsche Centre will be happy to assist you with individual consultations and any queries you may have. We very much regret the circumstances associated with this communication and thank you in advance for your understanding. Regards. So that email was actually sent at the end of April, and as of yet, there has been absolutely nothing back from Porsche Cars GB. As I understand, they are waiting for something to be ratified by key stakeholders at Porsche AG as regards to a work forward and when these cars are all going to get booked in for inspection. As it said in that original email, there will be upgraded parts coming, and actually the value of those parts is likely to be £20,000 plus. So at some point in the next year or two, there's going to be a whole load of new kind of modern amazing parts being retrofitted by Porsche to these Carrera GTs, and I don't think there's many manufacturers that would actually stand on their cars. I don't see Ferrari doing this with their 50s, I don't see Ferrari doing it with their 40s, I don't see McLaren doing it with McLaren F1s. These sorts of cars, it's only Porsche really that will look after their customers like that. So this video is not a moan, it's not me having a go at Porsche. I actually conversely am saying the opposite. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, and actually various insurers are taking a different line on it. Me personally, I will take my car out. I will take it for a little drive. I'm going to go and film with my GT3 Touring and my Carrera GT. I'm going to put them together and actually compare the specs. That video will be out, I don't know, God knows when on the channel. That will be out very, very soon. So there's going to be nothing stopping me per se from taking the thing out. Am I going to hammer it? Probably not. Do I ever hammer it? Not really. We're not really at hammering Carrera GT levels of cash over here. But it's not going to stop me from using the car. My insurer has said that it's okay as long as it's got a valid MOT. So I'm going to top the MOT up at some point. It's got a valid one on it already, but I'm going to make sure it's all MOT'd and it should be good to go. It is a very, very, very rare thing. There's been one case of the corrosion that they're worried about, and I suspect it's just Porsche being litigious and just being very worried that someone in America is going to try and bring down the entire organization with a lawsuit. So I'm not actually worried, and the consensus among all the owners is they're not worried about it either. We're going to get the cars looked at by specialists in the short term, even if Porsche won't look at them just yet. But I understand there's a lot to get through from Porsche to actually book all the cars in and sort it all out. So that is what's going to go on in the short term. I know some owners that are going to Italy in the cars and Le Mans and whatnot in them and couldn't give a hoot, and some are a little bit more cautious, but I'm somewhere down the middle. Anyway, I'm going to show you anyway. I'm going to get the back flap up on the Carrera GT and just show you kind of roughly the areas that they're going on about in that original email. Right, time then to show you. I'm actually going to show you on the seal grey car because I can open the door and there isn't one next to it. So inside then, as you'll all know, I just love these. I know I'm biased, but these are the best. It's probably the best thing Porsche have ever made. Don't argue with me. So inside here then, this is where you've got the front trunk and the rear trunk. So it just, that pops that up there. There's not a huge amount to see, but it's always a good excuse just to take a look at this artwork here. So a lot of people actually, there are suspension issues occasionally with Carrera GTs, and that concerns the standard suspension, so you get the occasional leak and whatnot with these, and hence many people actually end up upgrading to KWs, which I don't know if you can see yellow springs through there, that's got KW springs in it. So then, I'm not 1,000,000% sure, and I'm sure some people will correct me, but I don't know whether or not it's concerning that piece down there and that arm down there that you can see at the bottom, whether or not it's concerning this bit that bolts on here, whether or not it's that bit over here where it bolts in, or down at the bottom where it all kind of bolts together there on the chassis. Either way, it's not the sort of thing that you want corroding or going to hell. So, you know, you can probably see that if that gives up going around a corner, you're going to lose control, and you're not going to have the best afternoon. So it's really, really cool that Porsche are looking into it, and that's basically wherein the issue lies. It's in the short term, they do say, as I said in that email, by the end of Q2 2023, that they will be inspecting cars. That's what they're hoping to do. I hope so too. But then at that point, the stop use will be lifted, and it will mean that people will get the official go ahead from Porsche to use their cars. Let's close that back up then. Look, it's all kind of carbon composite under here. There's no messing around with this. It's literally a racing car. It's complete chaos. Well, it's not chaos, it's actually very, there we go, got to be a little bit steady with that. Close the door up before I get thrown out. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. On the wrist today then is the Vacheron Constantin 2300V. It is the 37mm variant, if it even focuses, which it probably won't. I'm off to an event with Vacheron later, so that is on the wrist today. Loads of you are asking, so that's the 2300V, and I believe it's discontinued. I did give you all the heads up to buy one of these, where possible, a year or two ago before they discontinued them, but there we go. Stay tuned then for Carrera GT updates, and as I said at the start of the video, make sure you check out Car Vertical, because even if you're not buying a Carrera GT, you're buying any car, it will reveal any hidden nasties. Use the code on the screen right now and you will save money when you get your report. It is super essential, and I would not buy a car now without it. So big up Car Vertical, big up yourselves, big up Porsche, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.